Right, hello all. Do a quick update as normal. First off, just give a thanks out to the nearly 200 subscribers. Never thought I'd get that many. So, throttle body modification. Now, I did cover over this before. I had to buy a new throttle body and pulled it out again. So this is how it is now. That's all ported out. As much as I'm going to go. It's just a nice, smoother flow of air. There's no ridge to go with. I'll put the picture where you can see the ridge. This is what happened to my previous one. I tried going too much of an angle and went through the casing because I wanted a nice sort of similar to what I've got now, but I got through. Now, there's quite a few different throttle bodies you can use, but there isn't many. That was a bit stupid. Yeah, there's not many you can use. So this is a 16 valve type with the two parts on it, which is the only one you can really get away with doing any porting to. Now, this is one off an Audi AT 2.3 Sport. Now you'd think, oh, it's a bigger one. It's not. The plates are exactly the same size, same number stamped. This is another variation of throttle body you can get, which is one single mount, single mould, aluminium mould. Now, if you notice these bits here, you think, okay, right, I can just smooth those down, get a nice groove, like I've sort of achieved in there, that kind of thing. You can't, because where the casting is, you've got no room to do anything to it. Obviously, I bought that in the intention of thinking, oh, bigger engine, bigger throttle body. Nope, doesn't work. So I've just stuck with a simple 16 valve one. People are asking stupid money for these. Don't go and pay 50-60 quid one. Speak to Brendan or any of the guys. I mean, I found this for 12 quid off eBay. I think I won it for 20 quid in the end. Bargain, not paying more than that for a throttle body. So yeah, this has been ported out as much as I want. The way I do it is with bolt these two together, strip it down, bolt these two together, so you can then see what needs to get taken off. So that's that sorted. Lick of paint, bit and bob. You can go as far as knife edging the throttle bodies and taking all these screw heads off, but it's a waste of time really. You're not going to get anything over it. This is just to sort of aid, same as a port match, and I did, so you've got a nice flow of air going through. So that's done. We've also got my manifold, which, as you notice, I've got some JB weld, so you can guess what's coming next. So I spent the time again porting all this out, ported these out. Now I've welded new studs into these, so at the moment I've just got the flange and these bolts with spring rust, etc. They're torqued up, and then I've well over torqued them to make sure these welds have got a good tensile strength in them, because I don't want to put it on the car, do it up and then it split. I mean, this has been torqued up, and I've torqued it, left it for a couple of days, wound it back off. I've torqued it back on, then completely over torqued it. There's no signs of cracking. I've even tapped it with a hammer just to see if anything's going wrong, but they are strong as an ox, so happy with that. And once I painted it, I did realise the paint has sunk in. Don't worry about that. I've just put some paint on that just so I want a clean surface under. I don't want it to rust out, but I'll take that off in a minute. And there's a hairline crack down there. Now, I'm not running the 4 branch because I don't see the point. These have a habit of cracking because it's a cast manifold. They're 30 odd years, well, 31 years old now. So I could buy another one, but again, people thinking they're worth bloody 60-70 quid, more than that, no chance, not happening. Now this is only a hairline crack, so it's not massive. Normally on a crack on like a cast manifold, you'd find the crack, drill a hole straight through either end so the crack can't go any further. I don't want to drill straight through it because then that's going to make the problem worse. So all I'm going to do is I'll show you the end of the cracks. If I don't think I can get that one, but that one I can do it. I'll just put a little drill sort of quarter the way through the metal just to sort of help prevent the crack going any further. That'll be cleaned up, nice sort of deep groove. And then I've got the famous JB weld. This is fantastic stuff, for especially on cast iron like these. So I'll have a bit of a dobbing on there to get that all sealed up. Car wise, we have not done a lot really. I've been preoccupied with Mark 5 GTI, time about, timing chains, that sort of stuff. What I have done is got the decals, Sway's line ones on, so you can't really see them very well because it's a grey, you can just see them there. They're all on, looking good. Door cards are on. It's got no windows in yet, but I just wanted to clean them up, get them back on the car, just so they're half decent. I put some pictures up of what I've done. I did reinforce all under there because they're prone for falling apart, just to give some strength of that. Got some wiper blades on, so there's no gloves, so don't scratch the window. I've just put the thermostat and new housing on the block. Nothing else has been done to the block really. Oh yes, it is. Power steering bracket's just been cleaned up, put on there loosely so it's ready. We know the crank's in, con rods, new small end bear bushes, which is going to go in, and the big end bearings to go in. Still need to get some ARP studs and pistons, so at the moment we're sort of, apart from doing little bits, a bit of a standstill until get some overtime done, get some money built up, and order a set of pistons and some ARP studs. So yeah, I'll get on with that manifold and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. So as you can see, we just clean that off. You can just see that hairline crack there. There's my finger. Starting there and going down, it sort of stops down there, but there's no chance of getting a drill bit down there. So all I've done is just, that's the end of the crack. You can just sort of see the crack inside that drill bit as well. I'm not going straight through because then I don't want to worsen the problem, so hopefully that should stop any further cracking. So I'm just going to mix up some JB Weld, put it all on there, run it down, and then you can't really see, but I'll probably just fill that gap up down there, just to get a good bond and hopefully stop any further cracking. And that's the JB Weld mixed up. It's a 50-50 split of the two tubes, so that's filled up the drill bit hole. That's not going to zoom in. There you go. Yeah, paste it down there, a bit down at the bottom as well. Takes about, I think, 15-16 hours to fully dry. Once it is dry, it can be machined and filed and all that sort of stuff. So I'll leave that to dry for a couple of days, and then I'll smooth that all off and I'll possibly put another layer on it, just down in that gap possibly, but we'll see how that comes out. I just popped in to check up on how this is drying. When you put it on, it's very sticky and sort of quite hard to get nice and flat, so I've left this for 5-6 hours now, and I've just come back in and just sort of squished it down, just to get it to push in all the gaps I want it to, and it's pretty solid now. So I'll leave that for probably a couple of days, to be honest, let that really set through. And like I said before, you can file and grind all this down, so once that's all solid, I'll probably smooth it all off, see how it's looking, and then mix another bit up and just get a bit more so it's an even spread on there. You would have also caught out corner of your eye in that video this big messy thing here, sunroof. Now, out of all spray in the car, this is the only thing that's reacted every single time I've done it, no matter how much I've cleaned it. Like, cleaned it, sanded it down, wiped it down, blown it off the air gun, thinners all over it, let it air dry, put some primer on. From a normal thick, decent coat to having to sand that back, clean it all again, just like doing scattering on there to build it all up, still reacts. So I put a paint strip all over it and just stripped everything back to metal. That's the worst of it, just needs to be sanded back to the metal. I'll then get that as smooth as I can metal wise, and then I'll start doing the primer again, see what happens. So yeah, so that's a work in progress too. And that's the new rod bushes pressed in. Right, so that's all the small end bearings pressed in. All these parts from Auto Dock. Fantastic price, isn't it? Delivery's a bit longer, but it's good stuff. Glyco rod bottom end 1 to 2, whatever they're called. These are, if that will zoom in, right, you can just see in there that oil line. It's only sort of I don't know, not all the way around anyway. You can just see the other one starting there. But these aren't worn, there's no wear in them. There's literally, I couldn't even measure any kind of play in them. And these are standard VW ones. And now, if you look in the new KS ones, it's got a 360 oil groove around it. So a slight improvement on the standard ones. Obviously, hole at the top, oil gets oil from the oil squirters, pops at the bottom, goes on there, and it can go inside that. And full groove around. Now these have to be reamed out as well, because if you, these are the wrist pins, go through the piston and go in these. These don't actually fit at the moment, so these need to be reamed out or bored out, but especially with our machine shop to get these to fit. But these aren't the wrist pins that are going to be used, so I won't do anything with these until I get the piston kit and the wrist pins, the correct wrist pins, and I can take it to the machine shop, same place to board out a block and say, right, machine those together, and then they'll be a perfect fit. So yeah, that's those pressed in. Another little job out of the way, quick and easy one. And there's not much else to get on with really. I'll come and have a look at that manifold later on, see if it's dried up. Currently one of my favourite seats at the moment. Been a long time getting this car back to how it is now, not a mess. I had the same issue with these door cars where the front's gone off, the top's gone a bit faded, so that'll have the same sort of treatment as I've done with the rear ones. Not that you can really see very well, but yeah, got a mirror coming for that. But it's nice to just sit in and hopefully, even though I've got a nice view of the engine and bits and bobs, but hopefully it won't be long till I can be out on the open road enjoying the car. So again, thanks for all the subscribers. If you've got any comments or questions, just stick them below and I'll do my best to answer them. Cheers.